Well, I'm going to throw something out here, another thought. What is Vladimir Putin's greatest fear? Oh, he's got a fear. I know what he's got a fear of. He's got a fear of his replacement, whoever that next guy is going to be coming in. Now, of course, all the people on the top know what's going on, but he's holding the power strings. So, anybody who tries to, he's not loyal to him, he'll knock him down. Actually, anybody who criticizes him too much, you see that guy that was actually with the show trial, tax evasion, like over a decade ago, he's still in jail. And Boris committed suicide just recently, even though his chauffeur's got his head blown off in an attempted car bomb before. They knock off people. But what he's scared of is the next guy that comes in. Because the people are going to be dissatisfied with something. So, how the typical strategy is, blame it on the last guy who was in it. It wasn't my fault. I'm the new guy, even though this guy could have very much been the apparatus of the whole problem in the first place. But, he'll say, oh, it was Vladimir Putin's problem. He did it. You know what I mean? Actually, I think in Russia, they probably should elect a former pro cyclist as the president, because anybody that's into two wheels, because actually that's the way I think. Sidetracking here, but I got into motorcycles from bicycles. The first bike I had was, mountain bike and stuff like that. It's like the love of freedom. Screw the politics. Actually, the only thing you really got to freaking do to be a really good politician is this. Just be a good human being. You know what I mean? You don't need to be skilled at politics. The problem is when you're skilled at politics, that gets the idiots to bite and follow you, But really, the only thing you have to do is be a good human being. But I always liked the two wheels. So there's some wisdom to that sometimes. I think about that. I personally, I put a lot of videos out on Vladimir Putin, but he's probably not the worst guy in Russia or anything like that. But it's amazing how so many people in the West think he's out there to save the Westerners from the Western banksters and stuff, and he's against the New World Order. He's all about power for himself. He's a power-hungry guy, and he's a nice guy, man. If deluding yourself, if you think you're jumping from one place to the other, and it's the good thing to do. But it's amazing how in both the United States and Russia, people continually elect and get people in that are worse and worse and worse. It's ridiculous. And it's going to continue till the whole thing just breaks down and the whole system breaks down. Maybe that's what they want to happen. So, but if you actually, Vladimir Putin was smart. This is what I would do. I wouldn't be thinking, because eventually this guy's going to have to be out of office and retire. And I know in his head that's what scares him the most. Because the next guy that's got the power, he's afraid of giving up power, because the next guy that has power could screw him up very easily. Because any problem that comes up, you could say, well, that was all during Putin's time. Actually, if I was Vladimir Putin, I'd fake my death, go find an island someplace out in the Pacific that nobody ever heard of you, doesn't have television, We're nothing but young women, and hide out there incognito for the rest of your days. That would be the advice that's what I would do. You could bury your money down there someplace, have supplies come in, I don't know. That would be the best thing to do. I'd be out of Russia, down there in freaking someplace in the South Pacific. And I don't know, maybe you could import, whatever. But that's what I would do. I would disappear and say, hey, Vladimir Putin was killed, and just disappear. That was what I would do. But I know what he's scared of, man. He's scared of the next guy that's coming in. That's partly the reason he's hanging on to power big time. And, this guy is so drunk on power, it's whatever the hell he has now, $30 billion, $40 billion, or whatever. He ain't going to stop, man. He's on it like a heroin addict, and that's really 90% of the problem with all the elite. They're addicted to money and power, like a drug addict is addicted to heroin. So they do anything to just keep getting more. That's really what you got to fear with them. You got to find You know, if you got an elite guy, it's, I don't know. I put that to, you know, I was thinking about that because that one guy down there in Florida from Russia was a cyclist or something. But you know, even if you have like a Japanese guy that's into, like, you know, horticulture and gardens and shit like that, and you know, in other words, he's in tune with simple things in, you know, people and nature and things like that. You usually find him to be a better leader. I don't know. These people are getting so drunk on power, and they live in these circles that's why they're screwing over the peasants. It's not even so much. It's just not the right kind of leader. That's the problem. It's like these leaders are drunk on power like a heroin addict is on heroin. So, you know, I'm going to say this with this stuff, you know. Vladimir Putin, though, his biggest fear is the next guy that comes in. The next guy that comes in. I already know what's going to happen, man. I can already figure. And he's got a good reason to be scared of that. Because anything that goes wrong in Russia, oh, that was Putin's fault. That's what it's the first thing the next guy will say. Guaranteed. And, you know, he's not, I'm not talking about it, Medvedev. I'm talking about somebody else that's actually, you know, is not a puppet of Putin. So that's what he's scared of. Guaranteed. Like I said, you know, you should think about the South Pacific Island because find some place they never heard of you, you know, and hang out there for the rest of your days, you know. That's what you do.